Here with another NFL news roundup. We'll start with the trade that happened today between the Colts and the Packers, where the Packers acquired Zaire Franklin from the Colts in exchange for Colby Wooden. What do I think about this deal? Well, it makes sense for the Packers, especially when you consider the fact that they probably won't be retaining Quay Walker in free agency. I'm guessing this trade had a lot to do with that. They get his immediate replacement and a former Pro Bowler in Zaire Franklin, still a very solid player. And for the Colts, you're shedding some salary and you're also getting a young defensive tackle. That's a position of need. He's still on his rookie contract. He's a solid player. Who do I think won this trade? I guess I would have to lean the Packers. You're getting a former Pro Bowler. And to me, Zaire Franklin just feels like a Green Bay Packer. I have a feeling it will be a great fit for him over there. But overall, I think it's a pretty even trade for both sides. The next piece of news that I will share is the Bills signing Connor McGovern on a 4-year, $52 million contract. I think this is a great move for both sides. For the Bills, you really couldn't afford to lose McGovern. You also could be losing David Edwards in free agency. You don't want to be losing a guard and your starting center from last year, especially with McGovern being such a good player. So overall, I think this is a very smart move from the Bills, and McGovern gets a very nice contract for himself, so good for him. Overall, great move for both sides. Jordan Davis also signed a 3-year, $78 million contract extension to stay with the Eagles. This makes a ton of sense for both sides. Jordan Davis, obviously, you're going to take that bag any day of the week. But for the Eagles, you really can't afford to lose that guy in any type of way in the future. You have to lock him up for the long term, and that's exactly what they did. So both sides get a dub here, in my opinion. Jordan Davis, like I said, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL. Brandon Aubrey will also be returning to the Dallas Cowboys as they placed a second-round tender on him that's worth about $5.7 million. Now, obviously, for Brandon Aubrey, this isn't ideal. He wanted to get a long-term deal with an APY looking like $10 million, which would be insane for a kicker. But obviously, when you got a guy that's making 65-yarders in his sleep, maybe that's worth it, and maybe that's what they do in the future. But for now, he's getting a second-round tender to remain with the Cowboys. And the final piece of news that I will share, at least for now, is Darius Williams, the cornerback from the Rams, is retiring from the NFL. I believe he was 33 years old. It was probably time to go, and he finally makes that decision. Now, obviously, for the Rams, they have to cover some depth in the secondary now. You did just bring in Trent McDuffie, so that helps. But overall, let me know what you guys think about all this news that I shared.